What if I told you that the leaked origin story for Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday doesn't just shape Doom, it reshapes the entire multiverse saga? Because what we have today isn't just another leak, this is a full-blown origin story, a psychological blueprint, a cosmic rewrite, and somehow a missing puzzle piece that finally explains why we haven't seen Doom in the MCU up until now, and why he's about to become the most dangerous threat Marvel has ever put on screen. And the craziest part? These leaks doesn't just reframe Doom, they connect him directly to the TVA, Mephisto, Reed Richards, and even Kang. Yes, buckle up, we're breaking it all down piece by piece. Alright, let's get into it. So this leaked Doctor Doom origin comes from the Twitter scoopster Majestic. The handle is majestic_UCM. They're new to the scoop game, but followed by a bunch of established leakers. As always, no Twitter scoopster is perfect, take everything with caution. So here's what Majestic claims. An explosion destroys Doctor Doom's house during a failed experiment to contact his mother's soul. Doom lives, his family dies. He's not completely disfigured, but his pride makes him cover his face anyway. His mask becomes a symbol of guilt, not injury. Already that is dark, already that is different. And then it gets deeper. His mother Cynthia made a pact with Mephisto when Victor Von Doom was born. When she dies, the pact becomes the real source of his tragedy. The lab accident connects him to an unknown energy that fuses science and magic. Reed Richards appears indirectly. Warning Doom about the mistake, he ignores. After the explosion, Doom disappears for years. He is found in Tibet, where he forges his first armor. He melts his mask to his face while still red hot, choosing pain as a reminder. His body survives, but his mind is fractured. He begins hearing his mother's voice, trapped between two worlds. The experiment also opens a dimensional rift, making his first contact with the multiverse. That's the leak. And if you're thinking this is a lot, yes, exactly. But here's the thing, this messy, chaotic origin might actually explain why Doom hasn't appeared up until now, and why his MCU introduction is the polar opposite of Tony Stark's. The more I read this leak, the more one thing clicked for me. This is the anti-Tony Stark origin. Think about it. Tony goes to the lab, builds armor, creates elements, solves time travel, saves the universe. Even when things go wrong, it all mostly works out. Doom goes into the lab, tries to save his mother, ignores warnings, destroys his home, loses his family, tears a hole into the multiverse, fractures his own mind. When Tony built his way into becoming a hero, Victor spirals into becoming a force of catastrophic consequences. This contrast, this is the kind of thematic symmetry Marvel loves. But there's a catch, and this is where the tension spikes. I find it extremely unlikely that Doom's entire MCU foundation hinges on a Mephisto pact introduced in a Disney Plus show. It's just too thin of a thread. But the shape of the story, the emotional core, the dark mirror to Tony Stark, that absolutely feels MCU. And speaking of emotional cores, there is one character who must be part of Doom's story or the entire arc collapses. Look, if Doom's origin doesn't have Reed Richards baked into it, Marvel is doing both characters a disservice. Reed and Victor are the ultimate rivalry, brainiacs with wildly different philosophies. Two prodigies whose entire lives are reshaped by one catastrophic moment, this accident. The leak claims Reed appears indirectly, warning Doom, being ignored. That's actually perfect. It plants the seeds. It sets the rivalry on fire. But here's the looming problem. There is so much story to tell. Doom's origin, Reed and Doom's relationship, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the X-Men, Kang, the TVA, the Library of Worlds, multiversal incursions, the Beyonders, and Marvel only has 2 Avengers movies to do all of this. And that brings us to the big question, where and how do you fit Doom's entire life story into the pacing of Avengers Doomsday? Where does this Doom origin go in the movie? Does Doomsday open with a 15-minute Doom prologue? Does Doom take up the whole first act? Are the Avengers and X-Men just waiting in the lobby until Doom's done trauma dumping? Because here's the kicker, most plot leaks claim the movie starts right away with the heroes intermingling, meaning Doom might already be active, meaning that post-credit scene with Franklin Richards might have been misunderstood. What if Doom wasn't abducting Franklin? What if he turned around and said, "I'm here in peace," and asked the Fantastic Four to help him traverse the multiverse, because manipulation is Doom's love language. But more realistically, Reed and Victor already have a past. They already know each other, and Marvel has to establish this fast. And that's where the second big leak, also from Majestic, blows this entire story wide open. Now we get to the second half of the leaks, and honestly, this is the part that finally made everything click. According to Majestic, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom gains access to the Library of Worlds, a forbidden multiversal archive hidden from absolutely everyone, including the TVA. Yes, a Doctor Doom variant played by Robert Downey Jr. holding the most dangerous multiversal artifact in existence. Majestic goes on to say the library may have been created by the Beyonders, or He Who Remains. In the comics, the library was created by the Beyonders. It exists outside time and space. It's a conduit between universes, a literal gateway to anywhere. Doom, as Rabun Alal, and the Black Swans use it as their base. But here's where this gets insane. The library contains maps, records, and blueprints of every incursion ever recorded, plus data on future incursions that haven't even happened yet. Meaning Doom knows which universes collide, when they collide, why they collide, and how to weaponize those collisions. This makes him not just dangerous, it makes him unbeatable. This alone makes him more terrifying than Thanos, Kang, or He Who Remains combined. And to add even more tension, the TVA kept the library secret because of its catastrophic potential. This lines up perfectly with Phase 4 and 5. It explains Doom's motivations, it explains his multiversal reach, it explains why he becomes the central threat of Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. But here's where everything comes together. For years, fans have complained that Kang's story feels inconsistent, the TVA rules feel vague, the multiverse feels random, Doom hasn't appeared, there's no clear direction. But these leaks, combined, fix all of that, because Doom has trauma-driven motivation, has conflict with Reed, has mystical connections, has scientific foundations, has multiversal access, has knowledge of incursions, has a base outside of time and space, has the same tools the Beyonders used, has ties to the TVA, has a reason to step into Kang's vacuum. It all finally feels cohesive. But even if this is all true, even if the leak checks out, we still hit the same unavoidable wall. This is the part where the tension peaks, because let's be honest, how in the world do you fit all of this into one film that isn't 4.5 hours long? Dr. Doom needs a full origin, a relationship with Reed Richards, a Fantastic Four setup, a multiverse motivation, a connection to He Who Remains or the Beyonders, a rivalry with the Avengers, a bridge into Secret Wars, and the Library of Worlds storyline. This is massive, this is dense, this is Endgame plus multiverse plus Fantastic Four plus Loki plus Secret Wars all tied into one man. The question isn't, can Marvel make this movie? The question is, can they possibly make this movie within a normal runtime? Because right now it feels impossible, but maybe Marvel has found a way. Alright guys, that's everything. Every leak, every connection, every theory, every terrifying implication of Doctor Doom gaining access to the Library of Worlds. There are things in the origin I genuinely love, there are also some massive question marks. And just like every leak, some of this could be mistranslated or totally off. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Reed and Victor must have a shared backstory? Does Doom having access to the Library of Worlds make sense? And can Marvel realistically fit all of this into Doomsday? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm super curious to know how you feel about this. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.